Adam, what do you feel is the pulse of this team going into this series?
Yeah, I think there's a good vibe, a good energy. I think we've battled hard to get here, and there's still a series ahead of us that we have to prepare for, and I think we're ready to go.
Jacob, how do you quickly turn around the last series and begin the focus tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think we've been doing that the past couple days of practice. We got to move on pretty quickly from good and bad in the playoffs. So I think turn the page pretty quickly next day after that series and start preparing for Florida. I think the coaches have done a great job of getting us prepared. Now it's have to come out and be ready to play game one.
Yeah, Jacob, throughout this season at practices, you guys continue to have fun out there and enjoy the competition amongst each other. But how do you guys maintain your focus on what's at stake here in a conference final series?
I think that's probably one of the easier parts at this point. I think like maintaining the fun and the energy and the intensity in practice. I think that's just kind of what we built as part of our identity as a group, and I think that shows almost that we are focused. Everybody's kind of dialed in and having a good time, but also working hard and doing the right things to prepare. So that's kind of just the attitude we've had all year, and you're not going to change it at this point. So I think that's part of what makes this group so fun to be around, is everybody kind of enjoys each other, and we enjoy working hard.
Adam, I know you took that hit in the Washington series and have had a few maintenance days since then. I'm just curious, how are you feeling physically? Like, where are you at health-wise?
Good, yeah. Ready to go for tomorrow.
Jacob, we were talking with Peter and Chris before, and both of them were talking about the relationship that they have, how it's an open relationship. As the captain of the team, do you speak to the two of them ever together? And is there a way to tell when a GM and a coach are on the same page?
I think I know it's an open line of communication with both of them. I don't speak to them a ton by any means. I think you can tell when everyone's kind of pulling on the same rope, and as a group that trickles down to players across the whole organization. That's what you need this time of year, and when everybody's on the same page, that's what gives you the best chance to win. I think both of them have done a great job this year. I think Lavi's done a pretty incredible job of what he's come in here and kind of instilled in us, the attitude, the push, the level of practice that's transferred onto the ice for games.
In the back, Jeff.
Question for Jacob. Jacob, you were in New York since the rookie season of Alexis Lafrenière. I'm just curious to know, as a captain, was there any talk between you and Alexis to make him believe that one day he will be the player that we are seeing today?
I think everybody in the room in the organization knew the player that he was when he was coming in here. I don't think I take any credit for the success that he's had. I think that's all him. The level of work, his attitude, how much fun he has at the rink. He's a special player, obviously, and he's really shown that this year. But no, none of that has to do with me.
For Adam, how you've been through this a few times now, obviously the deep run 2 years ago. How do you feel about how your experience level in these situations helps you as you go to the this next step?
Yeah, I think, last time we were here, I think we were the team that didn't have much experience, but I think there's always that talk of experience. But when it comes down to it, I think, our preparation for the games and how we're approaching them and our attitude during them, I think we have been through a lot of situations in terms of up a goal, down a goal, down in a series, up in a series now. So, I don't think there's anything that's too much of a surprise to us at this point.
To either of you, Florida is obviously a physical team. When you're about to play a team that is very physical, do you have to match their physicality, or do you kind of ignore their physicality? And Jacob, for you as a guy who plays physically, is that the sort of series that you enjoy?
I think we know they're a physical team. I don't think us as a group are coming into it any differently. I think physicality is a part of our game. I think when we're playing our best, I think we are a physical group. But I don't think it's anything that you're going overly physical. That we want to play our game, how we found success throughout the year. fast and physical are two of the main keys to our game. So, I mean, I think any playoff series you look forward to physicality at some point. So yeah, I would say it's going to be a fun, fast, physical series on both sides.
I could ask either of you, but I'll go to Adam because I know you grew up in the area and you've asked me a few questions today anyway. So, but just your understanding of Rangers history, growing up as a fan and all that, with this spring being the 30-year anniversary of the last Cup, and you know the fan base, you can tell how excited they are for this run that you guys are on now. Like, how much does that penetrate the room? How much do you guys feel that? How aware of that are you, and how much does that maybe add even extra? I mean, I know you guys want to win regardless, but even more motivation knowing what it would mean to the city.
Yeah, I think, of course, there's the history, and when you get to this point, there's not much motivation more you need. But, I think similar to 2 years ago, I think you feel that energy, and when you get to, this point of the season, it feels so close, and you could feel that, within the fans and within the team. And I think obviously this year there's been expectations for this group throughout the year, and I think we've embraced them. I think our goal has always been to win the Stanley Cup, and obviously being 30 years since, I think the fans get pretty hungry for it, especially in a big city like New York. But I think we're hungry too, and we want to accomplish that. I think getting this far, you don't want to just say it was a good year. You want to finish it off, and I think that's our goal for sure.
Do a couple more, last idea.
Jacob, when you went from the first round to the second round, I think there were obvious differences between the Capitals and the Hurricanes, the way they play. Are there obvious similarities now between the Hurricanes and the Panthers? And if you think so, what are some?
I mean, they're both obviously great teams. I think they finished in the standings. Both teams are pretty close. I think even the East as a whole, the top was pretty jammed. I mean, they have a lot of the same tendencies probably of the physicality, the speed, the shot mentality. Maybe a little more physical than Carolina, if anything. But yeah, I mean, at this point, you're playing top teams. I think you're getting everyone's best. I mean, we expect the best out of ourselves and each other at this point. So I mean, I think it's gonna be another good playoff series. At this point, they're all good teams. You're not really finding a team that's squeaked in or maybe isn't playing their best or whatever it may be. I think it's two top teams. You're gonna have a good series.
Last one, Bruce.
Adam, I'd like to start with you, and Jacob, if you could chime in as well. What does the home ice advantage mean to you, and do you feel the juice when you're out there playing?
Yeah, I think that's why the regular season's so important. I think you play for that home ice, and not only from the strategic last change and that aspect of it, but when a building's behind you, you feel that energy, and there's going to be maybe lulls in a game, but that crowd gets behind you, and you see a lot in the playoffs. Goals tends to come in spurts, and you get a little momentum. You get that crowd behind you, and you see that energy, and it seems to play a big factor in these games. So home ice from the strategic element of last change and everything like that, and getting matchups, but also that energy is real important come this time of year.
I mean, I agree. I think the energy in the building is obviously a massive part in the playoffs. Our fans have been fantastic. I think we expect the same level of intensity and energy that MSG always provides, and that's something as a player that you enjoy.